kiss for you.
Alright, so today we're going to talk about skin pricing, skin culture, and the surrounding kind of examples that we have currently of bad skin pricing, of good skin pricing, of kind of like what the, requirements are and kind of where it started. So, really want to talk about this mainly because as you can see in Street Fighter here, at the time there was a limited event that had Ninja Turtle items in it and stuff, and that was really important because it kind of sparked this whole discussion on like how much can you charge for a skin, to what extent does the skin need to, do, or does it need to change about the game in order to basically be worth it, and obviously like the pricing around it and stuff. And so typically the skins were full body. So as you can see here, these are kind of like costumes or whatever that are considered full body costumes. But the Ninja Turtle ones were like completely, so they had like the top here as you can see, but that's the bottom, and like changed it. But they went for your avatars. And if you don't know, in Street Fighter 6, your avatars are basically just stuff for the story mode and stuff for your battle hub. So it's like the battle hub here. It's an area where you can create different like tournaments and stuff, and 1v1 people and fight with their avatars in the middle here. In the 1v1s here, obviously you don't get to see your avatar. You just get to see what the game is. Like the people that are fighting, the only time you get to see your actual in-game costume is if you go into the avatar ring right here and you see these two people fighting, you would have a ninja costume like that. So it was really not really something that a bunch of people like had or that you could really see unless you went to a battle hub and were able to like fight out in the arena here. It wasn't really visible if you were in these stations here or in a tournament, for example. So yeah, and ultimately people weren't really happy because it was really expensive. It was about $15 per skin. It was a limited time thing, and again, it only applied to your avatar. It didn't really apply to anything else. So as you can see, that was a limited time thing, because if I go here now into the hub shop, you'll see that it doesn't, they're not like a limited time or anything. There's just these normal costumes, right? So like this is $320, that's about $4 each. So these are like more reasonably priced. But if you were to get this thing here for $1,200, you're getting a little bit more expensive, right? This is about $12, I believe, because it's like $50 for $1. I can actually check. Let's do it in obviously the really annoying pricing scheme. So if I go to shop, you can see under 250 fighter coins is, I believe, 250 fighter coins is about $5. Cancel. So that means that these are $350 each, so that's about $7 each for like the DLC characters, for example. 250 coins. If you then go back to here and look about what that is, that's about so this here, right? You can see it's kind of like a full body. I can turn around, it has this, but so that ends up being 5, 10, 20. I mean, it goes down, right? But if you were to buy the 250 pack, that's 5, that's 10, it's 15. You're looking about $20, and obviously it scales. So this would be $12. Quite expensive. Obviously, it's kind of elaborate, but that's a lot. And it doesn't really give you a ton in terms of value. I could have just done that. Yeah, to give you a ton of value because you can only use it there. So that's the first thing. That's Street Fighter 6, and I would definitely qualify this as like a not good example of skins, right? It's not really doing a ton here. Now if we go out of Street Fighter 6 and we go to something a little bit more representative of the current market, we can check Fortnite here to set the bar here for what you could reasonably expect with skins. And one of the reasons is because of the crossover events. So I have a list here of basically all the crossover events they've had since the beginning. They had a decent amount at the start of the game, and then as it went on, they had much more in like Chapter 2 Season 3 and Chapter 2 Season 4, and it's basically just gone on. And they had a ton in 7 and 8. These are crossover events, right, with different properties like Marvel and League of Legends, that kind of stuff. And just as time went on, they got larger and larger with different skins and outfits and that kind of stuff, right? But more importantly, while these are pretty expensive, they also change quite dramatically what the game kind of looks like, right? So the first thing is that not only are they constant, meaning that you're in the game, you're doing whatever you're trying to do, and the skins are there, not a problem. You're able to see it, you're able to interact with it and stuff. but they also change it from a visual standpoint, right? Yeah, so as you can see here, let's increase the quality. This Goku skin is part of the game, is part of like a process that, or like a crossover event, and so you could buy it for about $20, but you get usually, I believe, all 4 styles, if I remember correctly, and it kind of changes what the game looks visually, right? This is not the original style of the game. You can see it's much more akin to how the style originally looks in Ito material, and so that's obviously something that you have to take into account when you're looking at these skins. There's obviously a lot of effort gone into the shading and kind of the mock-up here, right? As you can see, obviously the weapons as well. I think it's a bundle for 20 or 2,000 V-Bucks, right? You have like the main character, and then you have like their pickaxe, their glider, that kind of stuff. Yeah, and so that's kind of like the situation here. They have the like emotes and stuff. And this wasn't only for Goku. There's a couple others. I have a video here basically showcasing all the crossover events, right? You have typical things like Wolverine, full screen. Typical things like Wolverine, but then you also have Iron Man, looks pretty good. You have sort of more special characters, and I think more importantly, when you get to the larger characters like Groot, right, you have different things coming out of here for models. Again, you can see this all the time. You have the Mandalorian. You change proportions when you go to something like Rick, right? That more cartoony style, you have to change it so it actually looks more in line with how things are. And that's overall with the styles and stuff. It's pretty... these are not low effort skins, and they are expensive, but they're kind of like setting the definition of skins and kind of what you can expect from them. But obviously that's Fortnite, and that's kind of like a different medium. You're obviously going to be in Fortnite running around with these skins and kind of doing that, so it would make sense that something like this would have that kind of structure. But what I want to more compare it to is something like Brawlhalla. So let's go and do that real quick. The reason I'm doing Brawlhalla is because it's another fighting game, and I think it's important to kind of get the sort of situation straight when it comes to different fighting games, right? Because like they're obviously based on, most of the time, DLC, but they're also based on costumes, right? You obviously know something like Dead or Alive is really based on how many costumes each character has and stuff, and how those costumes kind of fit into the end game, if they're either unlockable or not. And so I want to kind of showcase Brawlhalla and how they do crossovers, because they also have a decent amount of crossovers, and by showing you that, hopefully I can demonstrate that you can do it a better way, right? The Street Fighter example of only having it here or charging whatever $7 for a single outfit is really not good, and you can do better. We have Tekken, right? So we have the Tekken, we have Soul Calibur, we have Shovel Knight, and these are all available, right? They're not like a limited time, no FOMO or anything. We have Adventure Time. We have a shocking amount of WWE fighters, like a lot. We have Steven Universe. We have Ben 10, Walking Dead, Kung Fu Panda, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We do have some Street Fighter, a good amount of Street Fighter, and then we have some miscellaneous. Simon Belmont. We have Avatar. We have Halo. Brawlhalla is if you go to training mode, you basically have access to all of them, right? You have access to as many of these, and they're basically just crossover skins. So they're like taking the base roster here, which ends about here, right? So this whole chunk, and then adding special animations and stuff. A couple of highlights I want to point out real quick. I will go and show you core, and I'll show you what core's base set looks like real quick. This is just color, right? So these colors are colors I already have. You can unlock them through normal gameplay and stuff. So I will show you what core's moveset looks like once a weapon drops. There we go. Right, so we have Rock. That's pretty explanatory. Rock is like that. The foot goes down, Rock goes up. We have the other Rock Slam, which basically hardens to a rock and then shoots down, and if it hits someone, it'll do that. And then we have the third move here, which is your down move, and that is kind of a spiral. So I do this, and then I kind of spin around in a rock and shoot. So those are the 3 moves there. Right, those are the animations that go along with that. And then we have the other thing, which is the gauntlets, and those are pretty simple. You have a throw, he comes there and chucks you. We have an upper throw, which does this. He responds, so we can, we have down, right? We have up throw, and if I, okay. And then we have down throw, which is like this rock thing, right? It's hard to get characters into up throw, especially when they're standing still, not doing anything, and running away at every possible moment. So those are the kind of things with core, and if I leave, I can show you what Jake looks like. So he is a skin on core. As you can see, it has core crossover right here. He has custom animations. For example, the stance is custom. That's not something you're going to see on core. He has his own running animation, as you can see, with movement and all that stuff. His pupils also move. Go. We have his hammer, so the hammer also looks a little bit different. If I try and do rock, as you can see, he very specifically strings up his foot at the bottom, has a change in facial animation, and then hits you with the rock. The rock's not different, but it does hit you. And if we frame step, we can see the spiral here that comes out from the rock. And you can see the kind of swirly motion that comes out from the rock right here. That's also custom. And then it goes down into this pile right here, and we have the rock, right? And then, so those are pretty unique animations. And then we also have one for this, right? If we frame step, we can see that he turns into a ball and chain right here, and the ball and chain goes down. Now, if we time it, we can see that it goes hand, then it goes chain. Can I? No. Yeah, okay. So we have hand, and then it goes to chain, and then it hits, and then it goes back down. And if I hit something with that, boom, it has a thing. Now, if I do the rock move, as you can see, I turn into a car and hit it like that. Now I should be able to get this. Yeah, so I turn to a car. I have a little facial animation here. Faces go in there. I slide into the side, and then I turn back into Jake, right? So that's an example of all these animations that are custom that you can see that really work. Another one that really works, surprisingly, is the WWE fighters. So this is a Bodvar crossover. Bodvar, these are, so like a lot of the times you'll be able to see kind of like what moves they're based off of. Sometimes it's a little bit easy. Like a lot of that, so like I'm not going to say a lot of the crossovers are super easy, but like, so for example, this one is, he's like bear, so Bodvar have like a bear that he shoots up. In this case, it's pancakes, and he does that. And then he has this one, which is just a hammer. That's pretty standard. The pancakes that are coming out. And then the down one is a sweep motion. And all that really does is add some more like graphical effects. And then for his sword, we have this move, which basically goes up. And then it shoots you off to the right here, like that. But as you can see, we have a person behind you, and we have a musical element, musical number. This is a simple slash back, which is pretty normal, except for the musical. And for this one, we have a forward dash. No custom animation for that. Yeah, so this is like a typical one you might see. In terms of like what are lower, considered like low effort ones, I don't remember the Halo ones being all that special, which is a shame. This is a Isaiah. He has a cannon and a gun. So you'll see that a lot of these animations are pretty similar to what they might be on the default character. And mind you, all the crossovers are about the same price. They're about $13. So, and they do come with usually a custom 2 weapons, right? So here's a cannon, standard cannon stuff. This cannon is a shot up, which is literally the exact same thing, although it has a little sparkle flourish. A shot down, which is again the same thing with sparkle flourish. And then the rush move, which is the same thing. The only difference is instead of the typical turret, you have a little halo drone. That's basically it. The only other thing is it does change, turn into a minigun here, which the other one doesn't. So I guess you could say that's advantage, but overall it's like relatively lower effort compared to the other ones. For the gun, you have this, which is again the same thing. You have just a pew motion like that, and then they have a little bit of smoke. Down, same thing. The only difference here is the little bot here is change color, and then for the rush move is again same thing, bot is change color. So this is a relatively low effort one, mainly because you know, they didn't use really nothing about here is identifiably Halo. If you didn't know who Halo was, you could definitely think that that this isn't, like, if you know who Halo was, it would be really hard to tell that this is a crossover at all, right? We haven't had any of those changes, but overall, I would say definitely in terms of quality, they're higher end than something like Street Fighter. And the other thing is, again, you can't earn these, but you can play around with them here, and you can also change the color. So on top of they're not like stuck at a certain color, right? Like with the Street Fighter ones, they're stuck green. These I can change it to blue, yellow, brown, purple, orange, cyan, sunset, gray, pink, red, white, black, and then I get some cool custom colors depending on the Battle Pass or whatever you did. So Haunting is a certain color. Raven Hanger, we have Soulfire, we have Coat of Lions, Poison, Dark Heart, and then Skyforge and Goldforge, which are color rewards for ranked. And then we have classic colors, right? So you're not limited to just the typical skins for any of them. So if I go to Halo, for example, you're gonna see Halo in all sorts of colors, including the special colors. Starlight, which I don't think the other one had. This has a little bit less, right? So they're custom per character. You have Haunting, Starlight, Dark Heart, Forge. You don't have like Poison, for example. That's not a color combo. So they have those, and obviously you can change the base right here to basically whatever you want. These are again dependent on what Battle Pass you have done, but they're all unlocked in training mode, which is nice. So if you want to look at one of these and kind of see how they look and where to buy one, then you can totally do that. Same thing with your pet. Yeah. So overall, I would say definitely, I think I like this approach way more than something like a Street Fighter, which kind of just puts you in it without much acknowledgement. And if you want to see how their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover went, we can see here. This is a Ragnar crossover for Raphael. I don't remember these being especially unique, but you can change color. They do obviously all have their own kind of like movement. So as you can see, it has a little, the axis changed. I can go up and it has a shooting star, which is kind of like his fire breath, which is cool. And then we have this, which turns into a pizza, which he cools down. I hit like a bunch of keys there. Pizza cools down, hits the pizza splatters here in like a fireball effect, which really looks really nice. And then it kind of goes to the side here, and then, oh, wrong button. Okay. I'm pressing the F7 key, which is like all the way across the keyboard. So there, and then we have, oh, I didn't show the rest. Yeah, so we have that move, which is pizza. He cools it down and it slams. The up star move, and then this down move is basically just a quick throw, right? And then waiting for another weapon is always fun. There we go. And then this one he has a pizza, so I can. Good. Be great if you could move the other way. Okay. So as you can see, pizza on the spike, pizza flung, pizza hit again. He turns yellow. And then I hit a slash, and that's how that works. And this is his fireball. He throws a shuriken. Let's see if I can get this by frame. Okay, shuriken here, hit damage, pretty simple. And then for this one, he has a skateboard. I am far enough away. I hit F6. Really hope F6 didn't do anything. Nope, we're good. Oh my, okay, yeah, we're good. So this, I missed, but I think I'm too far away. Yeah, skateboard, rush through, right? So like there's a lot of effort that goes into these animations, and basically, not to say that the Street Fighter 6 or the Fortnite ones don't have that, but like obviously they're not custom to every character and only obviously some items and stuff, but having the this kind of setup where it's like multiple items means you have to not only make it for one item but for two items, right? So overall I think this is definitely better than some other examples that that have come out recently, and overall I just kind of like the game, so I wanted to talk about how I think crossovers can be done well. Obviously this is free to play, Fortnite's also free to play. Something like you know, Street Fighter 6 isn't free to play, but obviously that comes with a different expectation value and all that stuff, so it's not too surprising. Oh, you also get a custom name and a custom like kill counter or whatever, so like it's not gonna just be like Ragnar, it's going to be your custom character, so that's nice. Yeah, and so overall I just think that generally this game does a better job of that crossover thing than something like Fortnite does. Because well, Fortnite, as we see here, has these you know, custom sort of identities or shaders. Generally they stick to one type of shader. Like we've seen this shader, but we've also seen it being used for Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen and Rick and Morty and kind of all these cartoon things, so we haven't seen really a different style. Where it'd be kind of weird if we saw something in a completely different 2D style, for example, if we saw like Game & Watch or something, that kind of thing, that Smash did, right? That'd be kind of odd. But yeah, I would overall say that this is better, Street Fighter's is worse, and I think Brawlhalla generally does a pretty good job of mixing the two, although we haven't had any style changes yet. So yeah, I just wanted to say about that. If you like this and want to see more, then let me know. I'll see everyone in the next video.